You want me to record you and you talk?
No, look at me. So this is why I never appear on camera, because I got a face for radio or something. Is that what they say? Anyway, phase 5 of the engine assembly. We've got some time. We got the C10 in the workspace. Yep, super stoked about that. Got a bunch of parts showing up starting tomorrow, I believe, for that. A lot of sheet metal showing up. But anyway, yeah, we're trying to get to this. Looks like we're going to be working on the top end. We just tightened the cam sensor down to 18 foot-pounds. And now we're going to finish getting these heads on. I think, is that the plan?
Hopefully, as long as everything goes planned, we'll have a lung block by the end of the day.
Cool. So yeah, we finally got the lifter trays, and we're going to get those in and just kind of go from there, and I'll film it as we go. All right, so we're setting in these little guide pins.
Which is also for coolant.
Yeah, for each corner of the head. So yeah, very important. That'll help align the block, or the head going down on the block. So we just have our lifter trays just sitting here. We're going to get the the roller lifters, and we're going to set them in, right?
Lifters, trays, gasket, head.
Yeah, a little screw to hold the lifter tray down. Assembly, lots of assembly lube. We did not soak the lifters. Although Charles said we should soak the lifters, I was reading multiple things that said don't soak the lifters, like manufacturer's data. So obviously Charles is wrong. He's just old school. What can you say?
Hey, I've done it every single time, and I've never had any valve train chatter on startup.
Or so he says. So see, these are supposedly AC Delco OE brand. So he's just snapping them on there. And
it's one of the best inventions any manufacturer ever did, because it allows you to do a cam swap without pulling your heads off.
Isn't that crazy?
Which is unique to itself.
Okay,
and
so
it
then
keeps the lifters from rotating, so that your roller always stays centered with your camshaft.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to apply a lot of assembly lube here and set it down. So that's just what we're going to do. So let's get this done, and then I'm going to turn this off so I can assist. And then, actually, Charles can just click them in there, right?
Yeah. You want to watch a video on it?
Let me get a little assembly lube. We're just using this Lucas brand.
You know the new lifter trays when they do that.
I'm just going to apply some.
Yeah.
Very artistic. Boop, boop. All right. Domino Santos Maria Barros. I don't know what any of that is. Oh, maybe I should have oiled the side.
No, you want that. The trays are supposed to hold in place, so they're gonna fall down into place when we start pushing them down. They're not in place yet. They're all the way up, so
Okay.
you don't have to worry about. I mean, you can, but they don't bottom out in the tray. So right now we have them all the way up. So they're in the position if we needed to pull the cam out, we could, and the cam lobes wouldn't hit the lifters.
Now, is there any way to screw up this orientation? See how there's a cup here, cup here? Is there any reason for that versus...
Okay, so if we were to do it backwards, so see the little indent to clear your head bolts? If you were to do it backwards like this,
It would just be...
it wouldn't be in place for the lifters to actually go in place. Does that make sense?
No, but I'll trust your judgment.
It would shift this a little too far down,
Ah.
and the lifters would not go into the correct seat.
I see. I see. All right, well, we're just going to do that for the rest of this, and then we'll be back.
So if you look at it, you look straight. See how on this side, see how there's daylight in the where the lifter goes. Oh, yeah. Step 17.
Yeah, step 17.235 is he is now putting in our little bolts that we got to hold the lifter trays down. Now, when you order lifter trays, very seldom did I see a lifter tray set that came with these bolts. So it's like, well, why not? So I had to order them separately. And they seem like they're quality bolts. But yeah, so sometimes when you're ordering these sets and everything, they are definitely not complete. And that's something I said in one of my previous videos about that Z Car Depot bolt kit set that I got. It's not complete. Like, it doesn't have the sensor bolts. It doesn't obviously have head bolts. It didn't have certain other bolts.
You get what you pay for. It's a great kit, and if you already have an assembled motor and you're wanting a bolt kit to change out a lot of bolts, it's a great kit. If you're starting from a bare block like we are, it's very limited, and there's things that you're going to need. For example, it has no sensor bolts. And on a used block,
I just want to point out, I just said that.
You did say that? I wasn't really listening. So
see, this is the problem here. You don't listen.
This is why I'm supposed to be just wrenching and you're supposed to be the talker.
The
I want to go back to wrenching.
Video talking guy. No, you go right ahead. What else would you like to add to this?
No, just, I mean, it's a great set, but it is limited, but it is what you get,
right?
What you pay for. I mean,
yeah. When they say complete engine bolt kit, it's not complete.
Well, it's open to what complete. I don't think there's a complete kit out there, period.
What is the definition of complete?
To me, every single possible bolt from a bare block to a running motor.
Yeah, that's what I would
think. There's a
think.
kit out there for that.
Right, no. All right, well, anyway, we're just bolting those down, and then we're going to, roll the motor over and do the other side?
No, gasket and head.
Oh, so we're going to completely assemble this one side.
Yeah.
And button it up. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We just need to get it down. We are going to check piston and valve clearance, but we need to get it bolted down because we are going to measure push rod length. The problem is we found the specs on the cam, but we don't know how much, if any, the head was decked, and we don't know how far the heads were decked. So we just want to make sure that we're going to have proper clearance. If you have all those measurements, you will know if you have an issue or not, but we don't, so we're taking the necessary steps.
Right. Cool. All right, so we set the head gasket on, and it says front right there. So this is the front of the motor, pretty sure. So, yeah, we got it. Here he comes with a head. Hopefully it's the correct head.
Yeah. The battery is pointed forward. I'm just kidding.
Snuggy. God, that looks good.
It looks proper, right?
Like an all aluminum motor looks good.
Isn't it weird though that aluminum's not always the same color?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that
that's aluminum and that's aluminum.
Right, and this looks way more gray.
But when we paint it, it won't be gray.
Right. I don't know. I kind of like just bare aluminum.
Well, at least clear coat it.
No, I kind of like. Well, anyway, we're not there yet, so we can decide later. But yeah, that actually, I think that looks good, man. All right, done. No, all right. So
wrap it up.
What is the next step, my friend?
Building a 4-cylinder, not an 8.
Right. We can run on that. What do you think? Let's do what now?
For right now. I don't know. What do we want to do?
We're going to check the valve clearance, right?
Yeah, we'll check the valve clearance. I just wanted to put it on for the video. But we're going to take it off, check valve clearance, put it back on, and then once we know the clearance is good, we'll tighten this down. Follow your torque spec sequences on these because they are torque to yield. My personal opinion, and there's going to be 17 of you or however many is watching our video that are going to argue with me.
4.
Okay, 4 of you might have opinions. Put it down so I can tell you're wrong. Is that torque to yield bolts are good to be reused as long as it doesn't go through a heat cycle. So we can tighten these down and untighten them as many times as we want. It's not sending cylinder pressure. Once you start this motor and put cylinder pressure to it, it's going to cause the bolts to stretch. That's a torque to yield and they're not reusable after that. So when you tighten these down, if you need to pull it off for whatever reason, you can. Don't let anyone tell you need new bolts. It's fine. It's just once you put it through a heat cycle, they're not reusable.
Well, all good advice. All good advice. One thing that I did get us this morning when I ran to AutoZone was 4 push rods.
They had 4.
They had 4 standard length, 7.4-inch push rods, right?
What size?
I'm not sure.
7/16?
Probably. It was for an LS1 out of a '98 Corvette.
Okay, well, cool.
So they had 4. Now,
I'm just curious.
Melling.
Okay.
So they sold them for $4.49, not $4.49 each, $4.49 for all 4. And I was trying to tell the guy at the counter, it's like, no, that can't be right. And he's like, yeah, I scanned it. It said $4.49 for this box. And they were
buy like a large supply. We will be a direct distributor at
Right.
7.4 inch standard LS push rods. Great deal.
So let me go get them, and we'll maybe throw something together here. All right, look, I was told not to show this, but we are using, because we had nothing else, my daughter's Play-Doh, okay? So we got a lump in there, approximately where the valves are going to come down, and it's folded over. It's pretty thick, so we're going to see what kind of impression.
It's better to be thick and get your indent to measure it than be too thin and not know where it's at.
Well, and I think we've got plenty of thickness here, so.
Well, if we don't hit that, we know we're 100% good.
Yeah, if it doesn't indent that, then yeah, we're clear.
And it's scary because it might be low compression.
Oh, whatever.
Or too small of a cam. We'll have to go to a bigger cam.
Right. We'll just turbocharge it. All right.
Speaking my language.
Now let's throw a head on this and get some push rods, and we'll see what happens. All right, so we set the head bolts in. The little guys go on the outside. Shorties go on the either end, and all the rest of the same length bolts go here. And this is for an early Gen 3 LS. I think later models had the same. There's no shorties on the outsides. I think they're all the same length. But you'll still have these little guys on the near the intake side. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna torque those down and spin the motor over and check valve clearance.
Pray to the LS.
Oh yeah, and then we got to assemble at least 2 rockers and the push rods. So I'll show that in a minute. Okay, just finishing up the torque sequence on these heads. And I think that's it. So now we're going to rotate the motor.
Yep.
Oh no, we got to put the valve train in.
Put the valve train in.
At least part of it. So
yeah, just these two.
Yeah.
And then obviously the rocker stud will secure a rocker down here just to keep it straight. Put these on and rotate.
Cool. Go ahead. So yeah. So we just I forgot to video, but we did a full 2 rotations on this, watched both intake and exhaust valves open and close. So yeah, now we're gonna take it all apart and see what we see. I highly doubt we'll see much, but who knows? I just hope the Play-Doh stayed in place and it didn't get like sucked up into the valve and put goo everywhere. So anyway, we'll find out here in a minute.
Get it out first try.
Right.
Now it gets stuck. Can I have that socket?
All right, so we're almost to the point of pulling the head off and seeing the results of our Play-Doh test.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it's ready to go. Here it goes. Oh, nothing.
Oh, we got a little impact.
I mean, if you think that's an impact, I'm going to say that's not an impact. Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, you can see
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, it did. It impacted the Play-Doh.
And it didn't get down to the bottom one, which means I'm pretty comfortable we don't have an issue.
Yeah. So what is this?
Which what?
This dent.
Yes.
Is that pre-existing?
I don't know. It could be, but you can clearly see a valve here and a valve here, which is consistent. Just your exhaust valve, your intake valve, which is bigger. And you can see that it's not coming down at a... Actually, we're just barely catching it. So we don't have an issue as far as clearance.
Yeah, as clearance goes, I think we're all right. I'm a little wondering what that is, unless that was already there. Oh, it's the head.
Is it?
It's actually, it's this.
Right here?
Yeah, it's this little lip squishing. Oh, yeah, because the squish band is in here, right?
Yeah.
And so that actually impacted that. So that, wow, that's close.
Well, but that's fine. That doesn't move.
Yeah, look how close that is. So
cool.
Wow, okay. Good deal. Why won't you focus? Camera, why won't you focus? There we go. All right, so I think we're okay for sure. Valves, no problem.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
All right, so here's the only problem is now you got to reverse the process and put it all back together. But this time we're going to put all the rockers on and all the push rods in.
Yeah, and then we'll put the other side together, and then your tray that you don't want to do.
I really want to do the sensor delete for the knock sensors on the top tray. I'd rather stick them to the block, but Charles is against that idea. I think it would be a lot cleaner if it was on the block, because there is a boss right there to attach one to, and then there's supposedly one on the other side, but I haven't really.
My thing is
Oh, I can screw right into the side there, I think.
how is it cleaner when it's underneath the intake manifold and you can't see it?
Well, but there's wires and there's.
They run to the back.
Yeah, but you know,
I think it's a cool concept, but
kind of unnecessary.
I mean, GM built those there.
Yeah.
And yes, in the 4th gen, they moved them, but they built them there and they worked really well, which is why these motors are so sought after.
And since we have it ready to go, might as well put them in that way. So.
Well, that's machine work.
Yeah. So. All right. Yeah. Valve covers are going on. We don't have the valve train fully assembled because we don't have all the rocker push rods yet. So we're trying to figure out this Chinese valve cover. Trying to figure it out. Gasket went in it. Came with its own gaskets.
It works great when it works.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's too bad. I think it looks good, actually. I like the black on top of there.
It does have a super nice finish. I mean,
Except for this one tiny mark right there.
we're putting that at the back of the motor.
Right.
Like we have a choice because they're specific to each side.
Right. But yeah, it's good to go.
Yes, sir. Make sure to get your wrenches out of your oil galleys before you.
It's always a good idea. So yeah, we're starting to look like a real motor now. So we're hoping to get the valley cover on with the knock sensors and get the other valve cover on the top just to kind of set in place, get the engine kind of sealed up, even though it's still open on the bottom. And then let's go from there. But yeah, making progress.
Let's get some masking tape on all that.
All right. Oh, you're okay with putting masking tape right there on the...
Painter's tape.
I don't have it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you get it.
So we are just about ready to wrap up and head out of here. This isn't bolted up. The intake's not bolted up. It's not fully assembled. We're just trying to kind of plug it up, get it all the holes in it closed off, so that little creepy crawlies and bugs and other stuff, dust and things can't get into it. But yeah, man, it's starting to look like a legit motor. Super excited to get this thing actually running. I can't wait to hear it go, but we're getting closer than we were, so that's for sure.
I mean, technically it is a long block, excluding the the water pump. So we weren't off on our video. We wanted a long block by the time we were done. It's just not fully bolted together long block.
Right. So one thing we did run into is this pan, which is supposed to be an F-body pan, so that I could fit it into the Corvette. The oil pickup tube, which Charles is holding, even this one here, which doesn't seem like it's all that tall, because we actually have another one that Melling sent me with the oil pump that's even taller. So we need something that's shorter than this, because it was hitting the oil pump by, what would you say, about half an inch?
I would say half an inch is probably, it'll seat all the way down and be safe.
So yeah, so either we need to, I'm not sure how we're going to remedy this. I mean, we got to get a shorter pickup. So I'm going to contact the people that sold me this pan and see what pickup they recommend, because it didn't come with one. Or at least if that's the one it came with, then it doesn't work. So, and I don't remember it coming with a pickup. So, although I don't know where I got that other one. But that other one is clearly used. One is clearly new, which I think came from Melling. And then I had another one, which was clearly used. But I don't think it came with this pan. So I'm going to have to contact the seller. But yeah, we got far today as far as like getting this thing looking like a real engine. And I think it's going to be kick-ass. So appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for more updates.